So to say that Golden State offers a problem to any defense is probably the understatement of the year. The team runs 11 deep, sometimes 12. Everybody knows their role. Gary Payton II is back. He's going to be big for them. Also, Andre Iguodala has basically had his entire body on ice all season for this moment. He doesn't need to play basketball anymore. He only wants to play in NBA Finals. That's it. That's it for him. Everyone knows this. They have superstar guys, and they have guys on the cusp of greatness. They have role players who have been shunned and discarded from Minnesota. They have rookies who are contributing. So depending on how you look at it, it's heaven. If you're a Warriors fan, you feel like you've got the future, the present, and the past all rolled up in one beautiful little team that plays beautiful game of basketball. Or it is a complete unmitigated disaster if you're the rest of the league wondering whether this Golden State team is going to have another decade of prominence, right? If you're Ime Udoka, I can't even imagine how you think about this. I'm trying. I'm not doing a great job, but I'm not a basketball coach. I think you just think about how Memphis did it and just try to find ways. Like Steven Adams changed the game for them, brought Kevon Looney in. I don't know what they're going to do for that. But the fact that Memphis held Golden State to an adjusted offensive rating of negative 0.7 is something that you need to get into the film room and dig into. They had an AOR, adjusted offensive rating of plus 10 or better against every other team this playoff run. Negative 0.7 against Memphis, plus 10 or better on offense against everyone else. That's the stat that the Warriors and Boston needs to watch. Like I said, the Warriors turn the ball over a ton in the regular season, but they've cut that down a lot in the playoffs. What Golden State now has going for them boils down to two big things. The first is they are 9-0 at home in the playoffs. Wow. That's huge. From 2015 to 2019, they averaged 6 home losses per playoffs. That's stupid. That's stupid. Like, they're better than they were in their reign. Why? How? I don't know. Second, the fourth quarter, as per usual, has belonged to Golden State. They have outscored their opponents by 25 points per 100 possessions in the fourth quarter. That's the best by any team in the playoffs in any quarter ever. Like, ever. That means that they're like, get up by 30. Get excited. Get excited. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter. Go up. Go up on us. 18, 20. All good. Steph Curry, you'll watch him. Just watch this. Keep this in your mind's eye when you watch this. There will be a game where Boston is up like 17, 19 points. And then they'll cut. They'll cut to the bench. And it'll be like 10:30 in the fourth quarter. And Mark Jackson or something will be like, well, Mike, I don't know. We couldn't have seen this coming. And then as they're talking about how unprecedented this lead is for Boston, they'll show Steph Curry on the bench with a towel over his head and his little mouth guard chewing on it. And you're like, this little fucker's going to come back in like 2 minutes. And it's night-night. And that's what they will do. They're a team. And Boston, as we know, when they get up, they can get complacent. Miami Heat came back multiple times. Milwaukee came back multiple times. If you get up on Golden State, I don't care if it's 30, keep your boots on their necks until it's whoop that trick time and you make Draymond, flip the towel in the air. Because it's like, there's no insurmountable lead for this team. They are 4-3 when trailing after 3 and 6-4 when they fall behind by 10 or more. They should be 0-10 when they fall behind by 10 or more in the fourth quarter. But they are not. They are better than 500. No lead is safe. How about this? When they get a lead, are they 4-6? No, they're 8-0 when they're leading after 3 quarters. So you better make sure they're not up after 3 quarters. They're doing this in the playoffs by their passes, as we know. The beautiful game of basketball that they play. 336 passes per 24 minutes. What a deluge. Confusing, annoying, frustrating, tiring. And player movements, of course. 11.3 miles traveled per 24 minutes. both second in the NBA. They've also led all playoff teams in assist percentage. It's going to be a challenge, folks. All these little stats, all these little nuggets, it doesn't look good for Boston. This is also Golden State's series to lose for all those reasons, in my opinion. I think that Boston poses problems for Golden State, but I think Golden State poses a lot bigger problems for Boston. I'm not saying that Boston can't win, because I think Memphis could have beaten Golden State. They certainly didn't want to go back to Memphis in Game 7. And who knows what would have happened if John Moran wouldn't have gotten injured. But like if ifs and nuts or candies and nuts, it'd all be Christmas morning or whatever the saying is. So Boston's going to need to win in the Bay in order to make this thing happen, and that is going to be very, very hard to do. Finally, let's talk a little bit about X factors for both teams, which means ancillary pieces, peripheral pieces, not star players, not key role players, but ancillary players that need to step up, and who that could be. For Boston, I think that's Derek White. Derek White's a very pesky perimeter defender. He's like Marcus Smart. He knows Ime Udoka's system like the back of his hand because he came from San Antonio, and that's the same San Antonio scheme that Ime Udoka is running. He's going to be really, really big in terms of hitting corner threes, hitting three-pointers at the top as well. If you're open, Derek, shoot. Like, be confident. They're going to sag. Golden State is going to sag off of quote-unquote lower shooter percentage guys. Like, let the scrub shoot. Grant Williams, Derek White. Derek White's going to need to hit a bunch of them in order for that to change how Golden State plays their defense. He's a very, very smart player at understanding angles. He's going to be able to cut Steph off instead of chasing Steph around. He's going to be able to like almost cut the corner and stop the ball from coming into Steph's hands, bumping players off their spots. And if Derek White can hit those shots, I think that's going to be a really huge factor there. That's how Dallas won Game 4, by the way. Open shooters in the corner who hit them. Night. For Golden State, I think we've already seen Andrew Wiggins emerge as a key role player. So for me, I think this series will hinge on this ancillary player, Kevon Looney. If Kevon Looney gets 15, 16, 17 boards a game, that's it. That's the key stat for me, because he's a 6'11", small 5 who has basically played himself out of the beginning of the playoffs. They brought him back in solely because Steven Adams was playing really well, and now he has reemerged as a key cog in this system. He can play good defense, and whether he can be solid on switches where he's not getting cooked by Tatum and Brown, that's going to be huge. That will be the key stat for me to watch, is how Kevon Looney gets rebounds, offensive rebounds specifically, because Golden State getting extra possessions means nothing good for Boston. Conclusion, Boston, make it a rock fight. Just make it a rock fight. Make it ugly. Force Golden State to turn the ball over a ton. If you can get them to turn the ball over 15, 16, 17 times a game, you're going to go up early, and you might be able to deflate some of the guys that are younger, like Jordan Poole's confidence. Like, think of it like this. This is an analogy. So imagine you're a chick on The Bachelor, and you're going on a group date, right? And you're on the date, and the other girl is Miss Universe, right? You're never going to be able to Miss Universe. You're never going to be more beautiful than Miss Universe. So don't go anywhere where she can be in a bathing suit or where she dresses up in a cocktail dress. You're never winning that date. You need to go somewhere where you're sweaty, where you're using your brain, where you're dirty. Maybe she breaks a nail. Maybe she exposes her lack of intellect. That's what you need to do. You're uglier. They're never going to be as good as Golden State at playing the beautiful game. So they need to make things as ugly as humanly possible. That's how you put yourself on even footing with them. Boston can't let it happen. Golden State, just don't turn the ball over. Really? That's it. If you can turn the ball over less than 10 times a game, that's going to be it. That's going to be really it for you. Keep the ball moving. Offense moving. Motion. Try to limit Jordan Poole's minutes. Try to figure out a way to hide Jordan Poole when he's in the game. Like when they call it pool party, like make it make it pool conference. Like, make it more business-like. You know what I mean? Like, when we talk about the pool party, it's a little too hectic for me. Like, it's a little too Vegas, summertime, too many drinks, too much bad shit happens when it's the pool party. Make it more like a pool business meeting. You know what I'm saying? Like, just kind of like make it more something that I can rely on Jordan Poole to operate effectively on the offense and defensive end. Try to get a lot of good production out of Clay and Wiggins so you don't need Poole's offense. You can just like maybe put his ass on the bench. No pool party time for me. Keep bigger defenders on the floor to help out. My prediction: Warriors in 6. Warriors in 6. I think the Warriors will be up 3-1 after 4. I think they'll close it out in Boston, actually, which would be sad because Chase fans, they won't get a ring there. Maybe Warriors in 5, actually. Feels like it's happening at Chase. Feels like it's happening at Chase for me. That's the only way for the legacy. And I think Steph does. I think Steph does get his first Finals MVP. Also, very quickly, the Draymond Kevin Durant thing, look it up. So funny. Draymond Green basically said that Steph Curry got 7 times more double teams than Kevin Durant did when they played on the team together. Kevin Durant then went on, which is what he does, go on Twitter, quote tweet it, and say, in my opinion, this is absolutely false. Steph did not get 7 times more double teams than me. That's wrong. So, legacy versus legacy. A lot of unfortunate situations where very elite, skilled players, some of the best to ever do it, have to feel some level of insecurity where they need to defend their quote-unquote legacy because random people on Twitter are dumb enough to believe that neither one of them is good enough to be in the top 10 of all-time conversation, which is just absolutely bonkers in my opinion. But check that out. Go and find it. There's a million places where they discuss it, and Steph Curry's legacy is unaffected by not having a Finals MVP in my opinion. And that's coming from someone who has said Steph Curry's not even a point guard. So there it is.